So for A Midsummer's Night's Dream, the aspect I'd like to talk about with the design of the performance was in Renaissance theater. Like it's known to be Renaissance theater is known to be very kind of like old fashioned with their costumes and make it very to that time. And it was like it's just like a tribute to that. It contributes to that time period so people understand it. But Julie Taymor, the thing I really like she did was with the background and everything, she made it like that she had like buildings and stuff that looked like they were their contemporary buildings and they weren't something that you'd see all the way back when Shakespeare wrote Midsummer's Night's Dream. So I thought that was pretty cool in her production that she made it a little more relative to our time. And I think she did the change just because it's just a personal preference. Like some people like that old look and some people think it like is part of the play, like it needs it, but in her view she sees that other people might not see that as fun. They might get bored of it or something, so then they change it up. And then the things with the children I liked was with Thisbe, the child that went missing and no one really knew. It was cool that it was a child because it made it just so much more somber, so much sorrow. Like there was sorrow behind it that like you never knew what happened to this kid, but then you find out like, but it alludes to the fact that they're like that Thisbe died and like that's really sad. So I thought that was really smart. And then I also think having children just implemented into the play, like okay, like the four characters who loved each other, they were very like they were younger characters, so it just shows that like they have high emotions and they're gonna create drama, and it's just a different level of like trust in your actors to have them do that instead of just having some older actor who knew what they were doing because they trusted the emotions of the kids would bring like a stronger meaning to the play. And then the thing I didn't understand right away was, in which I kind of touched on this earlier, but I didn't understand why Julie Thamer used so much new clothing and stuff like that. Because to me, I like the old, kind of feel, but that's a personal preference. And I thought that originally I was like, well, does it make it lose part of its meaning because you're not getting that rustic old look and like how important it was and all this stuff. But then I saw the other side of it when I started reading people's reviews. That a lot of people appreciate that. A lot of people like that it relates to like our time a lot more. And then the about identity, Midsummer Night's Dream really, I think it speaks to each individual identity. Like the whole moral thing was that you can't judge people by their looks and things. You have to just meet them on the inside. Didn't know, so I think it's a level of maturity that the characters had to go through to understand the truth behind all of that. I think with power, someone like Puck, like you have all this power and you're not responsible with while using it, and you make a big mistake that, like honestly, was the biggest problem in the play. The fact that like he didn't use the love potion correctly, and then people were following each other with the wrong individuals, and that's bad. And then finally politics. I think that Julie Taymor did an amazing job picking diverse people for each role. So then there's a little bit of just difference between each way the actors do what they do because they come from a different background, they have different experiences, and yeah, it's just they come from different cultures. So I thought that was really cool that she did that. And I think the one visual thing I thought was really cool was the fairy dance. You had the lights all around these fairies, and they were dressed like a certain way, like just dressed. It was different than everyone else, and then they were like the way they were dancing was just so smooth and fluidly, and I just thought looking at that it looked really cool, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. And then my two questions are: do you think Puck acted out of malice, or was it a true mistake he made with the love potion? And what is the strongest lesson you took from A Midsummer's Night Dream? Thank you.